question that people at home say, why aren't we thinking or exploring other ways? And that may, I guess a lot of it is what your goal is. If you're trying to get people to see another point of view or your
1010 WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore. Welcome to the SWAYNEE Queen Show, where we talk about fatherhood and the powerful influence of black fathers in sports and entertainment. It's the SWAYNEE Queen Show on WOLB at 10 a.m.
All right, folks. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy December 17th. We're almost through it, man. Welcome to the SWAYNEE Queen Show. It's me and the kid here. Good morning, man.
Good morning. Good morning.
How you feeling?
Feel good.
That's good. Just before we get it kicked off, just to let you know, we want to thank all of our sponsors for the SWAYNEE Queen Show that you've been with us through the whole season, for the whole quarter. We appreciate you. Maryland Premier Tag and Title, GYSRF, get you some Rich Friends clothing brand, Denmark Vintage brand, as well as Queen's Quality Painting. Thank you so much for being with us the entire season. We look forward to doing more sponsorship with you going forward. So, again, folks, all my listeners, if you'd like to call in, the phone lines will be open the entire session, 410-481-1010. Again, 410-481-1010. It's WOLBbaltimore.com. We'll also be live streaming at 410.swaney_. So, yeah, man, this is kind of like a bittersweet for my listeners out here, for the folks that are just tuning in, for the folks that have been with us for a while. This is the last episode for our session this quarter, or for a session this season. The good news is that we got picked up for another season, man. So congratulations.
Yeah,
we'll be here
good.
for you guys. The SWAYNEE Queen Show will return, of course, right after the holidays for next year. So make sure that you stay tuned in. We got beautiful content to be able to bring to you, some more guests as well. But we'll be just jumping right into it again. The fatherhood program, man, making sure that we touch on fatherhood in all aspects of life. But today being what it is, kind of the last episode for this session, I want to be able to make sure that we touch base. And yesterday was a special day for me because it was my mom, your grandmother's birthday. God rest her soul. But she would have been, 69 yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's awesome. I wanted to just give her all the praise and shout out. And that kind of gave me to an idea of what I wanted to kind of discuss today. I know the last couple of weeks we've talked about maturity, and then we discussed love last week and the influences there. And then I thought it appropriate, especially with this episode, just to be kind of talking about the strength that we as fathers get, or men get, Pat, rather, from the strongest influential woman in their life. And oftentimes it's usually the mother.
Mm-hmm.
It was for me. And it just kind of came full circle, man. I was watching, Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Right? So Kevin Hart and Chris Rock got a program. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, it's on Netflix. It's headliners only. It's a great, great documentary, man, on their show collectively together. It was just a great example of brothers coming together at the height of their game, and not showing any type of animosity or ego or anything like that, but working together for a greater cause, understanding what the bigger picture was to really be comedic geniuses in their own right on the same platform.
Yeah.
And I think that they accomplished that. But what was so intriguing to me was that as I got deep into the documentary, there was a point where they started talking about, the strength that, they possess and where it comes from a lot of times. And one of the things that they talked about, especially with Kevin Hart, was, and his siblings spoke on this, was the fact that, a lot of that strength came from mom.
Yeah.
And they went on to tell a story about how while he was at his climb to kind of the next level, if you will, in comedy, his mom had gotten diagnosed with stage 4 cancer or whatever stage it was. And she told the rest of the family, to don't worry him, don't bother him right this moment. Let him do what he's supposed to do, because as him being the son that he was, maybe had he known about that, he would have dropped everything that he was doing going at that time and left it to be with his mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, just the strength of a woman to be able to have that message go out to our family in order to be able to say, hey, look, we got to protect the son in this situation. We got to protect our son or our family member in this situation. Let him not be doused with any type of negativity. Let him go out there and do what he has to do. And then to see how that in the documentary kind of affected Kevin Hart, you could tell there was something there. You know what I'm saying? And I guess it was a lot of things came over me because I too relate to that type of situation when my mom passed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was a time in which you were born. There was a lot of transition going on from you and me and your mom moving to back to Baltimore. And in the midst of that, you know, us growing up and living here and me transitioning and trying to make a life for us, it was like there was a huge switch, you know, what I was going to be doing financially and everything like that. And during that time, mom, unbeknownst to me, was sick. And she told my sister and my brother that, hey, don't worry of him at this point. Let him do what he's got to do in order to kind of get through. And I didn't find out, unfortunately, that she was sick or even passing until months later. But it was the strength of mom telling my siblings to be able to say, hey, look, I know my son. Let him do what he's got to do right now. Let's not bother him with the negativity because she knew me. I'm true mama's boy, you know what I'm saying? So I would have dropped everything in order to kind of go back and try to tend to, but my sister and my brother had that. Shouts out to Maisha, shouts out to Steve for making it and handling it in the time in which I wasn't able to, you know. And then looking back at it, I was just saying, you know, what type of mental push did that do for me? You know, and it allowed me to see that at whatever cost, always protect your offspring. You know what I'm saying? From whatever it is, from their own hurt from time to time, if you can. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what mom was trying to do, and she accomplished that, of course. And in some way, shape, or form, I try to incorporate that in what things I do with you. You know what I'm saying? Just to try to make sure that you're not bothered with anything that's messy or doesn't really need to, you know, be negatively brought into your circle, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just keep going on your path because you're doing what you got to do. So just a lot learned from that. Shouts out to mom. Shouts out to all the moms out here being super strengths and pillars for their kids and making those decisions, man, that are too difficult for a lot of us to be able to handle. So, again, it just piggybacks on what we were talking about in the last couple of weeks, maturity, love, you know.
Respect, yeah.
Yep, all of that. What's your thoughts?
So I never was able to meet your mother, my grandmother,
Yeah.
personally, so I didn't know truly. I didn't get that connection, but I saw like the way that you felt about it, the way that you spoke highly about her.
Yep.
And so I'm able to have my grandfather, your father.
Yep.
I'm able to have a grandmother on my mother's side, grandma.
Yeah, sure.
And when I talk about mothers, I look, instead of looking at them like independently,
Yeah.
I look at the people that they made, the people that they created, the people that they brought up.
Sure.
Like grandma brought up Uncle Dell and my mother.
Sure.
And then look at them now. They're doing what they can. They living great lives. They have great children. All me and Cammy,
Yep.
Lil Dell, and it's just like the generation that like progresses after them.
Sure.
Shows how they.
It represents them.
Yeah, it represents them. And so, like, when I look at my mom, one thing I always will do and forever will do is keep my morals straight. And then the respect aspect, make sure that I'm not dishonoring my mother wherever I go.
That's
like
what's up.
in every aspect, not this, and you too, but making sure that people understand, like, oh, he was raised well.
Yep.
He was taught well. And I think both of you guys played a really big part in that. But my mom, I will say my mom put me on the fashion aspect, so I look good on that. Won't lie about that. And
She was all right.
But yeah, I mean, my mom taught me well. My mom always kept me in high spirits when I felt sad. When I was in a certain, like, in different aspects, she kept it real.
Yeah.
As you would, she kept it real, but she made sure that I knew, like, I was I will be and will for always be loved and okay at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like in any circumstance, I always have people to rely on.
Yep.
Like in any circumstance, she will be right there. You will be right there. Like I got family at the end of the day. So I think my mom, like as I said before on the other shows, like she's the strongest woman I know
Sure.
because she's had hardships that I truly don't even know the full aspect of yet.
Right.
So, and I can only see like the things that she's going through, like nothing bad, but like progressively watching me grow. That's hard for her.
Oh yeah. Well, and it's hard for me too. I don't want you to think it's an easy cake. I mean, I do all these things because undoubtedly I don't want to let go. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I mean, you're 18. You're my only child. At the same token, it becomes hard at the end of the day for cutting the proverbial umbilical cord. You know what I'm saying? Like letting go. And like here is a stage. You're at the end of high school. You know, you're jumping into college. You're doing from a sports aspect. You're jumping in the real world. You're working. You know, all these type of things. And when you sit back as a father or as a mom, and you sit back and look at what you've accomplished and what stage you're in now, it's just like, oh wow, the next stage is inevitable, where the bird finally leaves the nest, and you're going to go out and fly on your own, and you're doing, you know, you find your own love interest. You'll have kids and so on and so forth. So it's just that transition that a lot of times can be challenging, you know, for parents. You know, for my mom, maybe Kevin Hart's mom, it was one of those things where they planned for the inevitable. And they planned for it so well that they almost overplanned. That was just like, you know what, regardless if this thing happens at this pivotal point, if I'm not able to talk here, this is the road that I want you guys to take, and left a blueprint for others to be able to move in protection of him and protection of me. And it allows me to kind of focus on how I can move even with you in case I'm not here. You know what I'm saying? Giving you certain jewels and blueprints. Even what we're doing right now, this podcast, this radio station broadcast is such a blessing for me because regardless, no one can take this away from us. We live stream. It's visual. It's audio. But you got it for the rest of your life. Yeah. Whether I'm here today or tomorrow, it's something that we can say that we joined in together. We made it a part of us. We shared with the folks and passed it on. You know what I'm saying? That's all you can really ask for. You know, mom passed on to me that ability to be focused on my son. You know, she always used to say that, you know, at the end of the day, you know, your father can go through whatever, you know, we can go through it. At the end of the day, you're my son, you're my responsibility. Yeah. And I hold that, you know, close to heart. I'm sure your mom shares the same feeling, but, you know, I took that very close to heart. At the end of the day, right, wrong, or indifferent, you're my responsibility. So yeah, when I get those kudos back, when I get folks to come in and say, hey man, your son's doing really well, or he's, you know, you did a really good job, that's an affirmation and pat on my back that my mom did a great job with me. Your grandmother, meaning your mom's mom, did a great job with her. We collectively did a great job with you. And so all we do is continue to keep passing on that blessing in hopes that when you have yours, you can do the same, if not better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just about passing that on. What were you saying?
I was just about to say, especially as of right now, in like today's day and age, like you don't get, like people have a mind of their own, of course.
Yeah.
But then some people get lost with the mind of their own and mixing up their own morals.
Okay.
Like I feel like morals should stay the same. Throughout thinking that this is my opinion. If anyone else feels some type of different, I understand.
Right.
But in my opinion, I think morals should stay the same. Whether it comes to respect, whether it comes to honoring like elders, like anything, any type of interaction with another person should always be subtle, in my opinion.
Okay.
Like I speak to someone that's about your age or older. Straight respect, nothing more. I'm not talking to them like I know them already. I'm not talking to them like, yo, this, that, none.
Sure.
And I feel like now in today's day and age, it's hard to find that sometimes. Because some people get so comfortable with like, oh, like who they are as a person that they get lost with, I'm trying to think of a word. That they get lost with, I guess like it's not, I wouldn't say code switching, but switching that, like making that switch turn on and off.
Okay.
Like you should not talk to a person that you don't really know, that's older, as like the same way you talk to a person my age.
Right.
Especially for me.
Right. There's different levels.
Yeah. And like their superiority, and people are so comfortable with being like that guy, like that top guy, that they get lost in that. Sometimes you got to sit back and learn rather than go ahead and try to teach.
I agree.
And so that's why I say in this generation,
Yeah.
like we don't have as much like learners. We have a lot of teachers.
A lot of Chiefs, not enough Indians.
Yeah, type of thing.
You know what? It's funny because you're right, and I reflect back on those type of things again when I get compliments from others about you, and how you are when you're not around us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, oh, he's so well mannered. Oh, it's a lot. It piggybacks on a lot of what you said in your senior speech. For those who didn't get a chance, a couple episodes back, Sway gave his senior speech and just talk about different nuances he gets from different crowds, different folks. But the level of respect that you give to the folks that are older than you, a lot of times that reciprocates, or that comes back to me in a compliment to me and your mom, just to say, hey, look, just wanted to let you know you got a great kid here. You guys have done well.
Yeah.
You know, for us, I mean, that resonates so much. You know what I'm saying? It allows us to be able to say, yeah, well, we did do the right thing. And then you received it well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people just don't receive it. You could teach all you want, but you got to be willing to be able to absorb it. So there's something in you innately that was welcoming, that was right from the start, that was on that right from the beginning. Like that's just a part of you. That's your part of your makeup. It does come naturally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just that we happen to adorn it by making sure that we kept feeding into it with positivity, I think. We're just talking about, again, just the power and the influence that the women have in our lives, and these strong men that are out here, all supported by most likely stronger women. And we just want to give thanks and shout out and give the flowers out to the folks that deserve it in our lives, and, you know, be able to talk about it. We are online. The entire show, you can call in 410-481-1010 to be able to share any ideas or comments that you have about the Swaney Queen Show, and make sure that you tap in on IG. It's 410.Swaney_ on IG. So, yeah, man, it's big time. And it's funny because I've seen a lot of this stuff come to fruition as I talk to you about us starting to go on your journey for college.
Yeah.
By which, man, I do want to say again, congratulations to you. We've gone through this entire season. You've just recently gotten your all-conference nod for soccer, man. So congratulations on that. But just the fact that we've gone through a process of going through about 8 different schools, all that you've applied to, and right now, currently, you're batting 8 for 8, and you've gotten accepted to all 8 schools. So, great job there, man. You know, as a father, as a mom, I'm sure we couldn't ask for anything else. But now, the process is going to get kind of difficult for you. You've got a couple more applications that you're waiting for, and then the process of funneling down and being able to pick what's right for you is right on the edge. So, how does that feel? I mean, is it scary? Is it?
Yeah, 100%. If anybody tells you that it's not scary and it's not worrisome, they're wrong.
Okay.
They're lying. They're just trying to act tough in all reality. I mean, I've had the blessing to see a lot of my friends, that I would call brothers or sisters, like, go through this.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's from a sports aspect, whether it's not from a sports aspect. And the struggle is hard.
Yeah.
Like, because, you know, we more so come from areas where we don't get looked at as much. We come from Baltimore, and then, like, we apply to, like, a big school or whatever, and they're like, oh. They look at the first place that they're from, and they're like, oh, okay. So then they go deeper and deeper into, like, the essay that we have to write, our accolades and all that, and they're like, okay, this seems like a really good kid. But so I feel like we get undermined a lot, especially from the area that we're in.
Sure.
I have a lot of friends that went through the sports aspect. Whether it's for soccer, whether it's for football, whether it's for baseball. They all said the same thing. Like, being a college athlete isn't a joke. Like, that's real life. That's real time. That's real hard.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yep.
And not only that, but it's like mentally straining.
Yeah.
Like, and that's for different, and it varies for different sports.
Mm-hmm.
Like, soccer's more so based on running, you know, through that aspect. Football, one of my friends, they have a lot of fun because they do a lot of weightlifting, get each other hype and all that. Same thing with soccer, but it's a different vibe. It's a different feel.
Sure.
And then for baseball, it's just like they really love to have fun. I have friends that had to leave, that had left high school early. Like after this semester they're gone, or like last year after this semester they were gone. Like
To go what pre-college
yep,
and do some things on the new college they committed to.
yeah, and I felt like whoa, that's such a fast move. Like just to get a jump on college and the feel for soccer and all,
Yeah.
like soccer or football, just to get a feel for it.
Yep.
And I feel like that's like whoa, you jumping real quick, like not really settling in and looking at what's around you before you leave it.
Well, let me ask you this. You said it before we came over here that like the second half of your senior year is a little bit different than the first half. You think that they took that same thing and was like, you know what, rather than me sit around and have nothing to do in a half a day or having to go work, let me go ahead and take a jump on school early? Is that?
I feel like that could be, you could argue that. You
Okay.
could definitely argue that. But I mean, like, in my opinion, I'd rather just like
Enjoy the journey.
yeah, like this is my last year of high school. This is my last year of being a kid for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm kind of just enjoying like what I got left.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, like the college process is gonna be hard. I mean, like even from a like outside aspect, from a person that's playing sports and have played sports all my life, and then now I'm in a college aspect, and I want to get to that level.
Yeah.
Like, and I gotta do the work to get to that level.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yep.
It's tough, like mentally, and I have friends that push me through. I have family that supports me throughout all of it, but it's still like, dang, what am I gonna do? Like I got accepted to the 8 schools. A few of them are big and known. A few of them are a little smaller and not as known as the other ones.
But still good, yeah.
Yeah, but it's still good, and I'm still getting I gotta apply for scholarships. I gotta make sure I get the scholarships, financial aid aspect, and all that.
Right.
And it's just like, I mean, the college process, it's just tough, really.
I got you.
Like, and I'm blessed to have the family and the core that I do, because, I mean, like they keeping me up, asking me what do I need, and same thing with the school aspect.
Yeah.
Whether it's my college counselor, shout out Mr. Rico,
Okay.
who helped me out with all 8 and plus more
Okay.
that are gonna come out soon. So I mean, yeah, college ain't no joke. I mean, like looking back at it, I'm like, whoa. So I kind of went really fast. Like just a while ago, it was like 2020. I just joined BL and things were going smooth. I was making Dean's List. Everything was chill. I'm like, all right, cool. It's going to be a breeze. I'm kind of just chilling. Not really worried about nothing. Everything came fast, yo. I won't lie.
Yeah, it's gonna be even faster here in the next few months, man. And again, that kind of piggybacks on what we were saying earlier. Just it's one of the things that keeps your mom and I on our toes, just because it is moving fast, right? And the cord is getting cut faster, for lack of better terms, and you're going to be moving out quicker, and then the things are going to be happening faster. You're 18 now, but tomorrow you'll be 20. It's just that fast. That's just how life is. Time continues to keep going on. So it's a preparation for you. For us, it was big for us to not move you as fast, because we were just talking about, you could have gone out and like your other friends and left out of school early just to get a jump ahead on college, but it was just like, that's the same way we felt when you were starting school. It was like you had an opportunity to be able to start school early, and I know a lot of parents do this with their kids. Shucks, I did it. My mom did it with me, and started school early. But at the same token, there's something given about enjoying the journey and getting in your proper time and getting in your proper place. And so you stayed in your grade. You stayed where you were supposed to, and said, let him develop the way he's supposed to develop with the kids that he's supposed to develop with, and let him, thrive off of that. And I find it, hindsight being 2020, when we're just looking back at it, looking at what I went through, and then looking how you were raised through it, it's just like, I think it was best to do it the way that you did, and went, without skipping ahead, because there's some other pressures that you didn't have to deal with that I had to, just being kind of the youngest one out of the crew and still graduating with everybody else, and people wanting to be able to, call you the smart guy, which I had no problems with, but everybody's not able to handle those type of things. You know what I'm saying? I was, of course, raised in which I could go ahead and handle it and dish it out and have some fun with it and things of that sort, and was mature enough to do it, but everybody's not in that same realm. Yeah. And you're playing, it's a crapshoot at the end of the day. You're playing a guessing game as to whether it's happening or not. But, I think that ultimately it was a wise decision, because look at you now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like all the steps that I've taken to get to where I am right now has always been good.
Yeah.
I remember like coming out of elementary school, like we were thinking, like y'all was thinking about. Well, I would say my mom was more so thinking about putting me into private school.
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling that because at the time I was like, no, I want to be with my friends. I want to go ahead and do what I needed to do. And I mean, like later on, maybe.
Yeah.
And so, like, I went through my middle school days. I got the accolades that I did. I got the notice that I did. I made friends. I made connections, even in middle school.
Yeah.
And then high school hit, and everybody was going to the private school route, really.
Yep.
So, I mean, like,
Well, I think early on in my mind, I wanted you to make sure that you got an opportunity to be in that co-ed atmosphere, to understand what it was,
yeah,
to be able to balance, everything, the network of people in your school as well as schoolwork itself. I knew that going forward, as you were going to get closer to high school, the opportunity was going to come again for the private school induction, but I felt like it was going to be better placement for you. You were going to be in a better place to handle it
yeah,
as a young man, and also to be able to see your counterparts sharing the same interests also helped. During that time, a lot of people weren't going to private schools per se.
yeah,
They were all in the same middle schools or other schools or whatever. But once they graduated and went from their middle school to their high school, then you saw a transition of them going to, Calvert Hall or Curley
yeah,
or McDonough, or well, the McDonough's co-ed, but it was a private organization, and I think it just helped push you in the right direction. So it was just about good timing.
yeah. I think the time was great. I think the drive that we had, like, especially like the process that we did, like in the 8th grade, that was still a tough process.
Yep.
But I feel like it was more so chill because I'm like, all right, I have 4 more years of school left. Cool, whatever. I'm gonna stay here. Cool, whatever. But now it's like we're doing that same process, and it's just like this, like it's just different.
Yeah.
Like it's just tough. Like internally, like I'm thinking like, dang, maybe I should have spent more time with this person, or like maybe I should have spent more time like. I think about maybe I should have spent more time with my mom. Maybe I should have spent more time with my grandma. Like throughout the times that I'm about to graduate.
Yeah.
And so like I'm more so cherishing the time that I have right now.
Cherish it, man. Make the most of it right now. It's the holiday season, folks. You're listening to SWAYNEE Queen Show. I want to thank you for joining in. We want to thank you for our first season. Again, join us next year in a couple of weeks for our second season, man. We will be here. It's on WOLBbaltimore.com, 10:10 a.m. radio at 10:30 a.m. on every Sunday. Sway, it was a pleasure doing this with you, man. I'm so excited. I'm glad that we started it.
Yeah.
And we're just beginning, man.
Yeah.
So congratulations to you. We'll wish you all the best, and we'll continue this on throughout the next year.
Yep.
All right. Make sure you guys stay tuned, man. It's the SWAYNEE Queen Show. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Swing
Queen Show. Tune in next week from
discussion on Black fathers.
What you think?